All right, so Bitcoin has gotten a pretty significant move to the upside. We have broken this, local downtrend that we were in, this internal downtrend, which doesn't really mean too much. If you're looking at like the higher term time frames, technically we are still in a downtrend, and we will be until we break this high up here. But we have gotten above a very significant level, a level that I've been watching. And it's more of a zone actually. It's this zone in between this very key support resistance level and the point of control of this larger range. And, we have gotten above the point of control. Right now, we kind of fell back down below it a little bit. We're still above the support resistance level. And, yeah, this is a pretty significant development. The markets are closed today. The traditional markets are closed because it's a holiday, and I have plans today, so I just want to make a quick update. I'm probably not going to be trading much today, but yeah, I just want to go over pretty much what has happened with the price action, what things are looking like on Market Cipher, and what my key levels are. So if you've been watching my recent videos, you'll know that I have been talking about this zone right here as being a very key zone for us to reclaim if we want to see more upside. And also, I was looking at this mini range that we were forming below the larger range and saying, okay, well, really right now it's looking like our only chance for some more upside would be this kind of scenario where we fall out of a larger range, begin to form a smaller range beneath it, and sometimes that can lead to an aggressive move back up through the previous range. At the time we had fallen out of this range, we were finding resistance on the lows of the range, and things were looking kind of bearish, honestly. But I was still open to the scenario where we, kind of do something like this, where we just consolidate down below the previous range and eventually get a move back inside of it. And the main zone I was looking for Bitcoin to reclaim was right here. And I was thinking that if we can reclaim this level and, maybe even hold it as support before getting a move higher, that would open up the door for us to, potentially reach some of these higher levels, maybe even go on to, continue to put in higher highs. So that is kind of what I'm looking at right now. We are kind of, just consolidating in between this area on the lower time frames. We did just test that support resistance level for support. And I mean, locally, momentum's getting a move to the upside. Yeah, but money flows continuing to get a move down. Yeah, we're just consolidating right now. But I do want to go through some of the higher time frames and look at Market Cipher to see if it's looking likely that we will continue to get a move to the upside, or are we just going to, find resistance on this point of control and fall back down. So right now, the daily time frame, money flow beginning to get a move to the upside. We are seeing some direction with this momentum wave, and the VWAP has gotten a sharp move to the upside along with the momentum. You can see we got an aggressive move to the upside here. And I mean, last time we saw the momentum and VWAP move up this aggressively was, interestingly, the last time we kind of got a fake out to the downside. It was right here. We saw the VWAP and momentum turn to the upside. We got an aggressive move back up through this previous range that we had fallen out of. Everyone thought we were breaking to the downside. And at this time, the money flow was even getting a move to the downside. It was, kind of continuing to get lower here, whereas right now, I mean, it's in the red, but at least it's getting a slight move to the upside. 12 hours looking pretty similar. It is looking like we're a little closer to printing a top on this momentum wave. And money flow, it is getting a move to the upside. It is, right now, seems like it's slightly curving to the outside, maybe showing a little bit of weakness. Maybe it just means like we should consolidate here for a little bit. Yeah, not super clear there. And the 6-hour time frame, we did print a red dot on this momentum wave, but it did get above the 60 line, which often is a sign of continuation. I mean, this isn't the best example, but even here we did get continuation after the first red dot printed above the 60 line, we got a little bit of consolidation before another move to the upside. So sometimes that can happen. And the 6-hour money flow is getting pretty thick in the green and continuing to grow. So not exactly seeing any signs of weakness there. Seems like, maybe we just consolidate here for a little bit based on, the momentum wave topping out. And 4-hour is pretty much the same thing as the 6-hour. And the 2-hour is looking like we may want to get some continuation here. If this VWAP continues to curve to the upside as the money flow is continuing to grow, then maybe we end up printing a bottom here and getting some continuation. The money flow has continued to grow since we printed that red dot on the 2-hour. It's continued to increase, which shows strength. And we're not seeing any divergences, momentum continuing to grow, money flow continuing to grow as we're putting in higher highs. So it is looking pretty hopeful, I would say, that, maybe we just consolidate in this area for a little bit before, continuing to get a move to the upside. I'm not really seeing anything that makes me think this move to the upside is weak. And, the 1-hour, the VWAP looked like it wanted to cross over right here, but it kind of got shot back down right before it crossed over the 0 line. So, we kind of got another spike to the downside, but we still can kind of continue this direction with the VWAP. And momentum has come down a lot from here. Honestly, if we print like a really small trigger wave right here, that would actually be pretty bullish in my opinion. So, I would look for something like that on the 1-hour. Money flow is looking decent. It has come down a little bit, but overall it's been increasing. So I think the potential for us to print a trigger wave like this is pretty decent right now. And usually when momentum spends a lot of time in one side and then you get a really small, really tight momentum wave on the opposite side, that is usually a sign that another strong move is coming. So now let's go over the levels that I'm looking at. So, I've kind of gone over all of these resistance levels in previous videos, but I'll just run over them quickly. I'm really not interested in much until we get up towards the value area high of this larger range. I'm basically trading the context of this larger range. Unless I'm going to be trading low time frames, taking scalps, and the local price action, then really all I'm interested in is the highs and the lows of the range. So up around the highs of the range, if we're able to hold support in this key area, get above the point of control, make a run for the highs of the range, the first level that I am seeing is this 6-hour order block. Now, let's just run through the higher time frames, make sure I didn't miss a more significant one. So on the daily, it's just all purple candles, so there's no order block there. On the 18-hour, here's the thing, some people may consider this whole zone here like a significant area to watch, but I'm not counting it as an order block because it doesn't really meet my definition of an order block. So I'm gonna ignore that. And on the 12-hour, it's just all purple candles, so no order block there. 18-hour, same thing, we don't have a purple candle to the left of this candle, so I'm not going to count that as an order block. And right here is the first OBIC. So we got the blue candle in between two purple candles, and the purple candle to the right got a significant move to the downside, and we eventually broke structure. And this order block is sitting right at the value area high. Also, the 618 is right above the value area high. So there is a pretty significant zone of confluence inside of this order block. But also, right above the order block is this untapped weekly level. You can see right above the order block, we got this untapped weekly level. And on the weekly time frame, the value area high even shifts up right to that untapped weekly level, which is interesting. But on the lower time frames, the value area high moves down a little bit. And what I'm thinking with this, since this significant level is right above the order block, the 0.65 fib is also right there. We may also have an NDPOC up there. I don't know if I still have that on my chart. I might have deleted it, but I guess there is an NDPOC up there. Oh no, here they are. Okay, so we have an NDPOC inside the order block, and we have one in this zone above the order block. But what I was saying is, since we have this significant level right above the order block, and since we know that a lot of times these order blocks kind of get a run on the liquidity that is, usually right above them when people trade order blocks, a lot of times they like to set their stops right above the order blocks, basically cover the OBs. So I'm thinking that a scenario where we get a move through this order block, come up to tap this weekly level, and then fall right back down into it, kind of CDW this order block, hit off this significant level. I think that's a possibility. So I would be looking for something like that if we don't see, an immediate reaction maybe from this NDPOC and the value area high. So I would be, aware of the possibility of us coming above this order block, hitting off that weekly, maybe even coming up into this zone, hitting off the NDPOC, and then getting a move back down below the value area high. But yeah, up here there is a lot of zones I would be interested in, a lot of levels that I would be watching for reactions from. And yeah, pretty much from any of these, I mean, for more confidence, I would like to see us then come back down and lose the value area high if I'm going to be trading it as like a larger time frame play, if I'm not just going to be taking a scalp from there. But above those zones, we do have a CME gap that we have not filled yet. This was from almost a month ago at this point, must have been. So yeah, we still have that CME gap up there. There is also a 786 right above it, and all of these highs. So maybe we kind of come up, fill that CME gap, grab that liquidity. That's an idea I could be looking at. And right above that is this zone where we have the untapped weekly, untapped daily, and also a downtrend POC. So I would be willing to bet that it's not the downtrend POC anymore, considering the downtrend got extended a little bit. But we can check. I mean, let's just pull it from the high to the low. And yeah, I didn't think so. But if you pull this fixed range down to this low, the point of control lines up right with that untapped weekly. So that's a level I was looking at a while ago. And yeah, I think it still has potential. It is an untapped weekly, so I would expect some kind of reaction if we come up here, especially since there's an untapped daily right above it. There's like a zone of reactive levels right here along with the point of control. But yeah, I mean, there's also these highs right above that level, so maybe price just wants to come for the liquidity. But yeah, these are pretty much the levels that I am mainly interested in up here. I could look at this NDPOC up here, and if we, obviously continue eating a move to the upside, I would be looking at this high. But yeah, mainly those are these zones that I am interested in around the highs of this range. Now, levels of support, I'd say I'm a little less interested in because honestly, I would much prefer for us to just hold support in this area and get another move to the upside from here. If we start falling back outside this area, then, I mean, yeah, we could come down for a retracement and then look to break out of this zone again. But, since some of these, like, high to midterm time frames are looking like we may want to get some continuation with this uptrend. This 1 hour is looking like we might be able to print that trigger wave. The 2 hours looking decent for continuation with the money flow with the VWAP. So I would much prefer for us to just kind of consolidate in this area and then get another move to the upside. But we still can look at some support levels just in case we get another move to the downside. And let me kind of go ahead and clean up some of these unnecessary levels here. These PD levels are from yesterday, so those aren't going to be accurate. I might as well actually go through and update my PD levels. Why not? So for this, I literally just go to the session volume profile. I like to do this on the 10-minute just for consistency because, when you switch time frames, they can shift a little bit. So I've been marking out my PD levels on the 10-minute, And we just go ahead and move the value area high up to yesterday's VAH, PD point of control right there. And this is an NDPOC, so I can actually go ahead and change this template, put that as an NDPOC, and we'll put we'll put NPDPOC, naked previous day point of control. There we go. So now we know. And where did my value area low go? There it is. And then I have to zoom in and find out where the value area low is. And it looks like it's coming in right around where yesterday's daily open was. So change that. And okay, that's some interesting confluence. It's lining up with the golden pocket right away. So that's the first thing I noticed there. And I'll also update my daily open, which is right there. And okay, there we go. So we got a interesting level of confluence right here. Daily open, PD value area low, and the golden pocket of this move to the upside. And the point of control of this local range is all coming in right around 26,850-ish. So that is off the bat a zone I would be interested in. If we start getting a retracement, we can also maybe look for some kind of order block or something in that area. The best thing I was looking at was this 12-hour order block, but even this had technically been tapped already. With this candle right here, we got a wick back into this order block, and that makes me less interested in it because it's technically already been tapped, since it formed, and there is not an 18-hour order block or anything higher than that. So right now it is looking like the best order block is this 30-minute one, and it is lining up right with that level that we were looking at, that 26,850-ish. So okay, we are getting a nice zone of support here. So I would be interested in this 30-minute order block with this zone of confluence. I would also be interested in this NDPOC and the 0.5 fib. Let's see if we adjust this volume level, will the value area high shift to right around here? And I mean, the value area high is right around that area. So what we could look for is, if we do get a move down here and we get a bounce, look for us to get back above the value area high for some more strength. That's what we could look for there. So yeah, I'd say really these zones I'd be interested in to the downside would be 27,200-ish and then 26,850-ish. And then below that, we got some NDPOCs that we have not tagged yet down here. So, you could look at all of those, but at that point, if we're going to come all the way back down here, things are definitely looking a lot less bullish, obviously. All right, well, I think that is about all I wanted to go over today. Yeah, really am just going to kind of wait and see what price action does from here. And yeah, I may trade the low time frames, but other than that, I'm not going to be interested in too much until we get to the highs or the lows of the range. And yeah, okay, another thing I did not notice, but this 30-minute order block is lining up right with the value area low of the larger range, so there is some more confluence to that area. So yeah, honestly, I'd say if we are going to start getting a move back to the downside, this is the zone I would be most interested in. All right, well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you all in the next video.